Hi, folks. This is Terry Bradshaw, and I certainly hope you'll listen to me as I do the Ralph Emery radio show. We sure do appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, hi, everybody. We welcome you to our show. My name is Ralph Emery, and I interview the stars. And this week it is my pleasure to bring you a visit with a football player, a man who's in the peanut butter business, and a singer, all rolled into one. Terry Bradshaw. Terry, welcome to our show.
Thank you, Ralph. Good to be with you. Good to see you again.
You're currently on a nationwide tour promoting your peanut butter, aren't you?
No, not nationwide. Just regional. We're working the Tennessee market right now.
I see. So your peanut butter is not for sale everywhere?
No. I don't have enough money to get it everywhere. Huh? It costs a lot of money.
So some of we have listeners in practically every state.
Yeah.
So some of them won't be able to find your peanut butter.
No. The peanut butter is in western Pennsylvania. We moved it to the Nashville market and to the entire state of Tennessee, to Louisiana, the entire state of Louisiana. That's where we are currently, and we hopefully we'll move into another 60 markets within the next 12 months. Hopefully we'll have it to everybody in the United States within 5 years.
Well, I hope it won't take that long.
Well, I hope it won't either. That means it's doing well.
Well, we're going to talk to Terry. He's going to sing for us, but we're going to open the show with... our show is brought your way, by the way, by Jimmy Dean Sausage. You know old Jimbo.
Yes, I do.
Ford Trucks, and by Raid. And here to open the show from a movie called Bronco Billy are Merle Haggard and Clint Eastwood.
Took my car in the other day and pulled right up in the service bay, and they tightened up this and replaced that and handed me a bill that curled my hat. I drove away. Boy, I got serviced that day. As far as my car goes, that still ain't fixed. This message was brought to you by Jimmy Dean Sausage and does not necessarily reflect the opinion of the management of this station, you hear?
My guest is Terry Bradshaw. Terry, who has achieved so much fame as the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't suppose you've ever played for anybody else.
No, I was drafted in 1970, and I've been with the Steelers now for 10 years, coming up on 11. Hard to believe, isn't it?
I have a problem.
What? I know, you...
I don't know. This program plays on 19 stations in the state of Texas, Terry. I wonder if they're going to carry it.
Well, that's a good question.
You got any friends in Texas?
I've got a few friends, mostly enemies. You know, it's funny. I'm from Louisiana.
I know.
And I can't hardly do anything in my home state. There's too many Houston fans, and Oilers and Cowboys are really big there, and the Steelers are just thoroughly hated. So it's a rough act for me to do when I go home. I feel very safe here, but even here I run into a lot of problems.
Well, Dallas is very popular here, but I think in Nashville the popularity of the Steelers and the Cowboys is probably evenly divided.
Who do you like the most?
Oh, I love Pittsburgh.
That's a good thing.
At the moment, you're so much bigger than I am. Stations out there in Texas. Who can we have? Well, of course, so many of the singers we have on are from Texas.
Yes.
When you were on with us before, Johnny Duncan is from Dublin, Texas.
Right.
And I was pretty safe there. I just hope you folks in Texas will bear with us, all you Cowboy and Houston fans.
America's going forward. America's going forward. When roads are rough and driving's tough, America's going forward.
Introducing the first new pickups of the 80s, the tough new Fords. Ford has redesigned its entire line of pickups with a new aerodynamic shape. Ford has the gas mileage champ with the best gas mileage rating of any American-built standard pickup. An EPA estimate of 19 mpg with optional 4-speed transmission. Used for comparisons, your mileage may differ. Comparisons exclude diesels and car trucks. No other American-built standard pickup has ever achieved such a mileage rating. See the first new pickups of the 80s and the 1980 gas mileage champ at your Ford dealer.
America's going forward. America's going forward. When roads are rough and driving's tough, America's going forward.
You having a good time? Huh? We're going to do this again tomorrow. I'm going to take another swab of your peanut butter here and try to put another show together with you tomorrow. Our guest, Terry Bradshaw. Our show sponsored by Ford Trucks, by Raid, and by Jimmy Dean Sausage, and we thank all of you folks for listening. Bye. Hello, everybody. Hi there, Terry.
What say, Ralph?
My name is Ralph Emery. What is your name, sir?
Terry.
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 Terry. All
Friends
right.
call me Terry.
Terry. All right, Terry. Terry Bradshaw is here, and our guest, well, we'll talk to him in a minute when we get him straightened out. Our show is brought your way by Ford Trucks, by Jimmy Dean Sausage, and by Raid. Are you straightened out yet?
I'm straightened out.
Are you straightened up to bring on the record here?
But to bring it on?
Yes.
By a friend of mine who probably doesn't know how crazy she is about me. Crystal Gale singing River Road.
We are talking this week with Terry Bradshaw, that football and musical giant, old number 12.
Oh, yes. Keep talking, Ralph.
You put number 12 on everything. Have you got number 12
well,
on your shorts?
What happened was that we formed Circle 12 Enterprises, which I don't know. My ranch was called Circle 12 Ranch for 10 years, and it was just sort of fun, capitalized on something, you know. And so we use Circle 12 for everything. It's kind of easy to do and kind of fun, too. I get a kick out of it.
When you went to the pros, when you went to Pittsburgh, any reason they picked out 12 to give it to you?
No, other than 12 had been my college number. But I don't believe I placed any demands on the number 12.
Well, you went in as number one draft choice. I guess they would give you anything you wanted. Hey,
except money.
Let's give him his old number.
That was
maybe
nice
he
of
won't
him.
ask for so much money.
That's true, but it was nice of him because I don't know if anyone had that number, but when I got there, that was the number they gave me.
Quarterbacks always have those numbers, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Single-digit, double-digit numbers.
Those low numbers.
Low numbers, teens, 19,
That's
20.
What would Stallworth's number be?
His Stalls is 82. In NFL, if you're not an established player before a rule came in, then you have to have certain numbers. In the 80s is wide receivers. And then tight ends are in the 80s. And then the offensive line for tackles is in the 70s. And then in the guards, it is also, it normally goes into the 60s. But Jerry Mullins is 72 because he had the number before the rule came in established. Centers are in the 50s. Backs are in the 40s and 30s and the 20s.
Are you folks thoroughly confused? Terry, you mentioned you're 31?
31. I know it don't look. Is that what you were going to say?
That's right, yeah. When's your birthday?
September 2nd.
All right. How long are you going to play football?
Well, I'm going to play 2 more years.
You've already...
I've decided that I have 2 years remaining on my contract. I would like to finish out those 2 years, and then I would like to pursue my music career full time.
You really are serious about being a country singer, aren't you?
I am dead serious.
Do you find it difficult to convince people that you are serious?
I think that's probably the hardest thing. I mean, probably one of the most frustrating things is that when you're successful in one field, people just for some reason can't believe you can do something else. And the thing I'm having trouble with now is even if the song Until You went straight to the top of the charts, people are going to say, well, it's a novelty act. You really just reason it would have never gone that high had he not won 4 Super Bowls. And so I've got to come back and have another number 1 hit, which is all well and good. I hope to have this one be number 1, the next one, and the next. But it's something that's deeply rooted within me, and I have a great desire to pursue the music.
Well, when you hang up your football togs, you're going to get out on the stages of America and be a country singer night after night.
That's right.
Well,
hopefully.
I wish you well.
Thank you.
I think that's great.
Thank you.
You are listening to the Ralph Emery Show with Terry Bradshaw. And Terry, you take it right here.
Well, this is a song that I could never do. But this old fella can sure sing them. Johnny Paycheck, he's going to sing a song called 15 Beers.
My guest is Terry Bradshaw. Terry, I haven't talked about the last Super Bowl that came down the pike, the one against the Los Angeles Rams. In that game, Los Angeles, a lot of people didn't figure they should even be there. What'd you think about that?
I thought that possibly they were playing the best football of anyone in the National Football League the last 11 weeks of the season.
They were in, 9-7?
Yeah, they were 9-7 and won almost all 9 games, Ralph, in the last 11 weeks. I thought that they were playing extremely well. They have a very complicated defense. and they were going to present a major challenge to us. We had never beaten the Rams. Hey, we hadn't beaten the Rams in 15 years. I have played them twice in Los Angeles. In my tenure with the Steelers, never beaten them. Never even come close. And playing I don't have any idea. Playing in California and playing against, they have 3 of our coaches that know our system. I guess I just felt like that, they know everything we're going to do. How in the world, what are these surprises can we come
3
up
of
with?
their coaches used to coach at Pittsburgh, right?
Bud Carson, their secondary coach and defensive coordinator. Then Dan Radakovich, our offensive line coach, and then Lionel Taylor's our wide receiver coach. All 3 of these guys were people that Chuck Noll brought in and taught these techniques to. So it's like playing yourself, really.
So they
looking in a mirror.
Anytime you made a move, they knew what it was going to be.
Practically, they sure did.
Did you worry about that game?
I worried a lot. I probably worried more about that game than any game in the history of my career. I never have had so many negative thoughts. I just felt like, well, heck, we've never won. We're not going to win, which is totally out of character for me. I never think like that. I always feel I find a way to get confident about playing a team, and for some reason, I just let this thing psych me up, and I did not feel good about this game at all.
There was one game when somebody almost ran you guys out of the stadium this past season.
Let's see.
Houston?
Houston didn't. Cincinnati just ran us clean out of it. They beat us 35-7.
Yes, right. What happened that day?
Well, I don't know. I didn't play that day, Ralph. I was there, but I didn't play. And it was just one of those games. We went out there and played a team that was very on top of their game, and we were on the bottom of ours. Emotionally, we were low. We were not excited about playing, and consequently, we got embarrassed.
What kind of a guy is Mean Joe Greene? Off field, is he mean?
He's a really a nice person. He does not like attention. He doesn't like to be singled out. He gets very uncomfortable in that position. He's very nice, very warm-hearted guy. He's he backs the players. He'll stick up for any player on our football team. He is very much a team man. You would like him. He would fit in well. He's a lot of fun.
Does he like your singing?
I don't think he does.
Tell him the Jack Lambert story.
The Jack Lambert story. Well, Jack. Well, which one you want me to tell him? The one about
where he admitted he was wrong.
Well, Jack Lambert made fun of my singing, and until I gave him an album free. And he took it home, and after making jokes and making fun and everything, he came back, and of course he didn't do it in front of the team, but off to the side he said, "Hey, I just want to tell you, man, I really like it. I really like the album. I really like the song. I love I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry." He said, "That's really nice." And I have a fan in Jack Lambert as far as my singing is concerned, which is it's a compliment. I feel very good about it because he's a very hard guy to please.
Okay. I thought that was a nice story. What a pretty record. I was surprised. When I heard it, I thought, boy, he has really hooked one. You've heard our guest, Terry Bradshaw, and that's called Until You. Now, since you have so many fans in Dallas, I thought...
Here we go.
You watch that television show called Dallas?
Oh, isn't it great? And JR is probably the most hated person in the world.
Except, you know who? In Dallas.
In Dallas? I don't think they like him in Dallas.
I'm talking about in Dallas. Who is the most hated person in the world?
Oh, well, outside the black and gold of Pittsburgh?
Yeah, outside of Terry Bradshaw.
Well, you maybe got a very good point there.
All right, this is Floyd Kramer playing the hit television theme from the soap opera. You've heard Floyd Kramer on the show.
New at this job, huh?
Yeah, I am.
Stick around me. I want to help you out.
Okay.
Don't be nervous.
You've heard Floyd Kramer, and that song, of course, is the television theme from Dallas. Terry, we have to wrap all this up, and I'm going to conclude our visit with you by going to your new album and have you sing May the Good Lord Bless and Keep You. Pretty soon now, in the month of July, you go back to
camp.
I want to say spring training, but it's summer training.
Yes.
And you'll be buried within the confines of your football career.
Right.
What I'm curious about, will there be a follow-up record this summer to the song Until You?
I think so. We're working at it now. We're trying to find a couple more songs. You know, it's very hard. And we're trying, and hopefully we've got to have some songs, because I'm going to be gone for 7 months, and we're planning on doing another album and having a couple more singles for the people, and keep your fingers crossed and hope we come up with something.
You going to win the Super Bowl next time?
I don't know, Ralph. If it means that's the only way I'm going to get back on your show, I certainly hope so, because I've enjoyed it.
Thank you. My guest on this show is football playing Terry Bradshaw. Terry, have you played football since you were a little kid?
I've started playing football when I was in the 2nd grade, which is way too young.
Well, it seems to me when you were on this program with Johnny Duncan that you were opposed to football programs for kids.
Yes, I am.
Why is that?
Well, I just think the young bodies are too fragile. The joints, which are the most important part of our bodies, these youngsters playing contact sports at such an early age like that, they get their little bodies broken up and they get their joints distorted and the ligaments and whatnot. And those joints have not matured and they're growing. And I just think it's very important for youngsters to be very careful. And you know, I'm not opposed to the contact sports. After they reach a certain age, I'd say 14 years old, 15 years old, when they can start lifting weights, which is a good time for a kid to start lifting weights. But at an early age like that, I'm very fortunate. I didn't get injured, and I just think that's just too doggone young.
When you were, I guess you were about 8 years old then when you started.
Yes, about.
Have you
Pop
played?
Warner. I started off in Pop Warner.
Have you played all the positions?
The only position. Well, I played linebacker, nose guard, and all my life has been quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Because
I played tailback a little bit though.
Were you always able to throw the ball a long way?
Yes, I always was able to throw the ball a long way. I wasn't always able to complete them, but I did have a very strong arm.
I know they have a competition for kids every year.
Punt, pass, and kick, sponsored by Ford.
Were you ever involved in that?
No, they didn't come out. The punt, pass, and kick thing, I think, has been in 14 years now, 15 years maybe, that long. But I never. It was long after I had already finished, junior high, I guess.
Were you first? You were number 1 draft choice, right?
1970, sure was.
Came out of Northeast Louisiana?
Louisiana Tech.
Oh, I'm sorry, Louisiana Tech.
Well, that's okay.
But you were number 1 draft choice.
Number 1, right.
And so you were able to command a great deal of money as number 1 draft choice.
One of these days when I'm through playing football, I'm going to tell you exactly how much money I signed for and how much I made. One of these days. I won't do it now.
You mean, why not? Why won't you do it now?
Well, it's a clause in my contract that I never would, expose what my salary was. But one of these days I'm going to tell. I'll tell you just for the fun of it.
You mean
I never told Crutchfield or anybody else. My dad is the only person, and my mother and my wife don't even have any idea. My brothers don't even know.
You mean what was printed in the paper was not what you received?
Nothing was ever printed in the paper. My contracts have always been secret.
Oh, so nobody knows?
Nobody even knows when I sign a new one.
How about your wife? Does she know?
No, she doesn't.
I mean, most wives know how much money their husbands make.
I would assume mine doesn't, but yes, I guess they would.
I mean, does she ever ask?
No, she never asked.
I see. Okay.
It's very nice of her to.
Well, when the water bill comes due and you said, I don't believe I can pay that.
Well, then we sit down.
She may ask you.
That's right.
You want to sing a little song for us?
Yes, sir. I'd kind of like to. I don't have my guitar with me, but is that okay if I go a cappella?
We'll play a record.
Oh, okay. We're going to play a record.
Yeah, your version of Take These Chains From My Heart. Well, this was a single for you, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Back 3 years ago?
It's been a while, I'll tell you.
Terry, you don't wear Super Bowl rings. Why is that?
Well, Ralph, when we won the first Super Bowl, I took the ring and put it in the safe deposit box, thinking that I may never win another one. Well, fortunately for me and for the Pittsburgh Steelers, we were able to win the Super Bowl in 1976. And so I had another Super Bowl ring, so I gave my dad the first one. Well, then we won another Super Bowl in 1979, and I gave that ring to my oldest brother, Gary. I gave the first one to my dad. I gave the 76 ring to my older brother, Gary. Then I gave last year's ring, the 79 ring, to my younger brother, Craig. Then the 80 ring I have for myself, so it will go into the safety deposit box. So I finally got a ring. It's a good thing we won 4.
Is it a ring that's too valuable to wear?
Well, it's too valuable, and it means too much to me to wear it and have it beat up and scarred up and possibly have it stolen or lose the diamonds. I don't like to wear, as you can tell, I don't wear a lot of jewelry, and they mean so much to me. I want to just keep them and have them. And my brothers all know that they're willed back to me if any of them or anybody should pass away before I do.
Terry Bradshaw is my guest, and Terry, I had you talking about the Super Bowl rings a little bit ago. What kind of belt buckle? I hate to talk about things they can't see.
They can't see. Well, this is Willie Stargell, who's my best friend on the Pirate team, made this for me. This is obviously you viewers can't see this, but you listeners, this is a big silver buckle, 4 by 6 inch oval shaped silver buckle that has 4 gold Super Bowls mounted inside of it with black lettering inside the footballs, dating the years that we won the Super Bowls. And on top of it, I also race quarter horses and stand a horse called Impressive Steeler, and that is in top. And then Circle 12 Ranch, which is the name of my ranch, of course, is in the bottom of it.
Terry Bradshaw is my guest. I want to talk about pro football for a moment. Terry, I want to put you on a limb for a moment.
Okay.
I want you to single out some of the people who are not on the Pittsburgh team, but that you feel are exceptional football players. We'll call them the Terry Bradshaw All-Stars.
All right. I think as a cornerback, Mike Haynes with the New England Patriots. I think as a quarterback, when he's healthy, Burt Jones of the Baltimore Colts, there's none finer than Burt Jones. Casper, Oakland, great tight end. There are some great Riley Odoms at Denver. These are guys that are just tremendous. O.J. Simpson, when he was healthy, was probably the greatest running back I've ever seen play the game. Now Earl Campbell, I've never seen anybody like Earl Campbell because of the speed and the power combined together. John Hanna, offensive guard, is
for New England, isn't he?
Yes, he's fantastic. Joe DeLamiere from the Buffalo Bills is another one. As far as wide receivers, there's none better than Stallworth and Swan. But there are others that are great. There's Jerry Butler, this young rookie with the Buffalo Bills last year, was an outstanding receiver. Kenny Burroughs at Houston's another one. I can go on and on. I am a fan of professional football and of the people, and I respect and admire their talents a great deal and love watching certain people play. Kenny Stabler, with the trade with Houston and Oakland, I think Houston got the plus that they're looking for in getting them in the Super Bowl, and there's none finer than Kenny Stabler. Tony Dorsett with Dallas and Staubach when he was playing these are guys that are just great, just really, truly tremendous athletes.
So pro football players make a lot of money?
I think some of them do, Ralph. Some of them make a lot of money.
What does a rookie make when he first comes up?
Well, depending. A kid like Billy Sims coming out of Oklahoma, I have no idea what he will make, but he can command a pretty top dollar, well over $100,000 a year. But there are very few players in the National Football League that are making $100,000.
What would you say the average player is making? Let's say a lineman.
I would say the average rookie's probably making between $30,000 and $40,000. Maybe that's a little bit high. Maybe from $28,000 to $35,000. A lineman, an average lineman in the National Football League is probably making $60,000 a year. A running back is probably making $70,000. I'm talking about players that have played 5 or 6 years now. I'm not talking about just a second or third year guy. If he's the number 1 draft choice, a high pick, he's going to be making more because of his clauses and his incentives. Quarterbacks are averaging around $100,000.
We've heard a lot about the baseball strike. Do football players ever talk about going on strike?
No, not really, because we're not really satisfied with our union structure, the way it's set up. Baseball has 100% representation, and we have about 30. So, and I understand now we have a competitive union coming out. The game is a sport, and I go out and I enjoy it and I play. I'm not going to be able to play that many years, and I don't want someone coming in and asking me to go on strike to get more money and everything. I'm very happy with what I'm doing. I'm very happy with the people I'm with. They're good to me, and as far as the structure of the game, I'm very satisfied with it, and I'm not going to play that many more years, Ralph, so I don't want anybody tampering with what I enjoy doing. Right.
Terry Bradshaw. Old number 12.
Ralph Emery. Old.
You are really sensitive about your singing, aren't you?
Well, I don't, I'm young in this industry, and I haven't had a world of success. And I think until you become successful and gain the confidence and believe in yourself, you get a little sensitive. And right now, I would say, and being very honest, that I'm touchy tonight singing because I realize I got a long way to go. And as a football player, people won't take me serious, which I think is, and that's one of the problems. And so I'm working hard at improving and getting better and doing good songs and hopefully having hit songs and hopefully gain the confidence that it takes to stay in this business for a long period of time and not just a short-lived time while I'm playing football.
But you find at this point in your career it's difficult for your friends to make jokes about your singing.
Well, I'll tell you, I should be used to it by now because it's a constant occurrence.
What about the Pittsburgh Steelers? Do they razz you about your singing?
Well, they get on to me quite a bit, but the one guy that gave me the most trouble, Jack Lambert, was the one guy that came back and said, hey, I really did like that album. Boy, I did the song I'm So Lonesome I Cry. Loved it, plays it all the time. So I caught a lot of it, but a lot of the players enjoyed it. They like to see us step out and do other things. They get a kick out of it, but you expect ribbing, and I do, and I take it. I dish it out as well as take it. But it's fun. But it's also nice to hear them come say, hey, I really did like it. I appreciate it because I know they're being serious.
When you first announced that you were going to record, did they give you a yaha?
Oh, man, did they?
Our guest, Terry Bradshaw. Is it Terrence?
No, it's Terry.
Terry what?
Terry Paxton Bradshaw.
TP. Terry Paxton Bradshaw?
Right.
Those other guys that play football know that?
I don't think they do.
All right, Mr. Paxton Bradshaw, you've heard Terry Bradshaw with I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry. Do any of the other Pittsburgh Steelers sing?
Let me think. No, I don't think any of them have any aspirations to be a singer. Everyone on our football team sings, but I don't think there's anyone pursuing a career in singing. Or I would know about it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'd be in on the joke, so I would know about it.
I would imagine a lot of them are rock fans.
Yes, most of our players like the rock and roll music. Or Ralph, I honestly don't even know what's being played on the rock stations, but I'm sure that's what they listen to. In the clubhouse, they play disco music. I think it's jazz, disco.
Any more country fans on the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Well, there are a few, not many. Myself and John Kolb, and of course Craig Colquitt from the University of Tennessee. Jack Lambert's a big country fan, a big fan of Willie Nelson. That's about it.
Okay.
Not many.
All right. Let me ask you, since I brought up the subject of Texas, what do you think about Roger Staubach hanging up his spikes?
Well, we're going to... the entire National Football League is the American viewing audience is certainly going to miss him. He was one of the great ones, a Hall of Famer for sure. I'm going to miss him because he's a great fan, and I've enjoyed playing against him. He was a great competitor. One of the few people you play against that you know that that if there's any way they're going to beat you with Roger in there, and we're going to miss him. He was a great humanitarian too, and you don't meet many people like that.
Are you and Staubach good friends?
Yes, very good friends. I've known for about 4 months he was going to retire. He told me at the Pro Bowl, and I still didn't believe it. Because he's only 38 years old, and he's in great shape and could probably play 4 or 5 more years. But he's got other interests, and his family. He wants to spend more time with his family, and I respect that out of a man. And I think it was a courageous decision, is one that is going to make him happy, and that's what's important.
It must be a monumental thing to move a football or a baseball team around the country from place to place when they play. I say that because I was in a hotel one night in Kansas City when one of the teams came in to play Kansas City, and I saw, I don't know, it looked like 100 suitcases out front. And it must be tactically, it must be awesome to move that many people.
Well, I tell you, they do it. We've never had any trouble at all moving our team. We charter the jets. And we have trucks there. We have our own trucks waiting on our own equipment. We do it all ourselves. And we unload onto our trucks and take our trucks to the hotel, and then they are given to the players or taken to their rooms. To say that we're spoiled and handled with kitten gloves is an understatement. They take very good care of us and eliminate all worry from us because they want us to perform well.
They just want you to think about the football.
That's right. That's right. And it costs a lot of money to charter those planes. And if you're going to spend that much money, it doesn't hurt to spend a little bit more to make it convenient for the people that are help paying for the flight. And our Steel organization is one of the best at taking care of the players.
I am visiting this week with Terry Bradshaw, and we're going to have him sing again, and he is so sensitive about his singing that I would like at this time to say we're about to bring you the very beautiful voice of Terry Bradshaw, who is going to thrill you as he sings. This is old Roger Miller.
I can't stand this.
You feel better?
Oh, man, go on and say it the way you normally would say it.
Here's old Terry. Terry's going to sing a song I've always liked and that Roger Miller wrote a long time ago. And Roger used to be in Nashville when he wrote a lot of these songs that you sing. Mm-hmm. This one is The Last Word in Lonesome Is Me. Terry, this is the third time we have done shows together on this particular day. Terry came into Nashville and did a show I do in Nashville on radio and one on television. But you interested me in one of the things you talked about. I said to you on Monday morning for a quarterback, you must feel terribly bruised up and sore, because on television I've seen you really take some shots, but it doesn't seem to bother you.
Well, I'm in excellent shape, have to be, and the Lord has blessed me as far as injuries, Ralph. They have been primarily to the upper part of my body, my shoulders, my neck, and my ribs. And so my knees and my legs have stayed intact. And there again, I've just been blessed. I've had some shots where my knees could have given away, but I've just been very fortunate. I just pride myself on protecting myself now. I think I've gotten wiser and a little smarter over the years, and I want to play for several more years. And so I protect myself at every available opportunity. I take advantage of it to get down, get out of bounds, do whatever I have to do. And it's just I've just been very fortunate, really, no reason. I'm 31.
You had any serious injuries?
Well, I've had the most serious injury I've had is a spinal concussion when I was dropped on my neck, and I thought it was broken. I was paralyzed for 24 hours, and it took about 3 days for all the feeling to come back in my body. And that's the one that I never really thought I would ever get over. I thought I always have fear of the onrushing defensive lineman. But it just took time before I forgot about it.
Terry, oftentimes a receiver will drop the ball because they say he can hear the footsteps of the defense coming up behind him. Does that happen to the quarterback?
Well, I would be lying if I said that never happened. But being a human being and seeing how big those guys are, I have heard lots of footsteps. I might add lots of footsteps.
Who do you hate to see coming through that line at you?
Anybody that's free. No, you hear footsteps occasionally, but you don't. You can't worry about defensive linemen. You just cannot. I think an athlete in our sport, it's a contact sport, you have to be fearless. It takes a while, but you get a few shots. You look for it. It's a natural human instinct to do that. But I work very hard at concentrating on doing my job and not letting those things affect me. But occasionally they do.
Mm-hmm.
This show, you ever get intimidated on this show?
Not anymore. I have.
Jimmy Dean
was a tough one to handle. Johnny Cash used to intimidate me in the early part of my career.
Really?
It would be so bad he would finally say, "All right, Ralph, talk to me."
Oh, really? Well, you've never been lost words with me, that's for sure.
Well, it was because of people like Johnny Cash in my early years. I could hear him breathing. My guest is Terry Bradshaw. Terry, do you have a fan club yet?
No. Why would I need a fan club?
Well, because you are in the limelight. You are a public figure, a very popular man. And,
do you have one?
No, I don't. But
well,
you see, I
forgot. You're not in the limelight.
That's right. I'm not on the same level with you. But I would assume that some football stars have fan clubs.
I don't know of anyone on our team that has.
Some baseball stars, I would assume, have fan clubs.
Well, they probably started them themselves.
The entertainers have fan clubs.
Well, yeah, the entertainers do now. I think I know very few athletes. I don't know of any that have their own fan club. I know I do not have one. If I have one out there, it's a secret. And
Would you like to have a fan club?
Well,
You know, that'll go along. You're going to have the band, the bus, and the whole thing, aren't you? Before this is over with.
I mean, why not have the fan club?
Aren't you going to go on tour?
Yes.
Play one-nighters so people can see you?
Well, I've been doing a few of those. I'm going to do a lot more.
You're going to do a lot this year?
I've done about 80 shows this year already, and next year will probably be a lot fewer shows, but the schedule will be set up a lot more. It'd be much more convenient. Right now, I've done 30 days, been on the road 30 days out of 31 days, 1 day off, and that stuff is ridiculous. And so next year we're gonna swap it up, and make it a little more consistent. I haven't been home in a month, over a month.
All right, we have to leave now, Terry, but we return tomorrow for another stab at this. Thank you for being our guest.
Thank you.
Our guest, Terry Bradshaw. And I don't think they heard your thank you.
Oh, I said it quietly, didn't I? Thanks, Ralph. I've enjoyed it.
Our show brought your way by Raid, by Ford Trucks, and by Jimmy Dean Sausage, and we'll see you tomorrow.